All right, we are live. This was very impromptu. Wasn't really planning on going live tonight, but kind of had the time to do it, and I figured this would finally be a good time to show off the vinyl record collection that I have been promising and promising. I think for at least 5 to 6 years on my channel. I know Rob from Boston and Gary Elbow Sausage, who are both members of the VC, the vinyl community. They have asked me over the years to show off my record collection, and I kept telling them I would, and I could never just find a time to do it because the records are it's harder to show records on camera, I feel. But since I figured out how to do videos live now through StreamYard, I figured this is the best time I'll ever get to do it. And I talked about, I would want to say at the end of December, showing off some records, but never got around to doing it. But now, finally, on January 17th, almost going into midnight, finally getting around to do it. Now, I normally make sports cards videos, so I really don't know how much of an interest this is going to be for people to see. Honestly, don't really care because this is something that I've been promising to be doing for such a long time. But so let's get into it. I don't know how many people are going to be coming into the room so to interact with people, but I'm sure people will watch this on the archive version, especially the people who have been asking for it for a very long time. So I've been collecting vinyl records on and off probably since I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. I would always pick up records when I would go to a concert or to a gig, and most of the merch I would buy from the merch booth would be at the merch stand would be vinyl records. So the majority of the records I have were bought at concerts. Some of the other records I have were bought off eBay. Actually, the first couple of things that I bought off eBay all the way back in 2002, 2003 were records. I know I buy sports cards all the time off eBay, but the first couple of things I did purchase were records. So we'll get into that, and yeah, let's get into showing the records. One of the first records I ever bought off eBay was the Smiths' The Queen is Dead. So this is one of my favorite records of all time, and wanted to have this in the collection. Bought this probably back in, I want to say either 2004 or 2005 off eBay. But this is the US edition. It's on Sire Records via Rough Trade. I mean, this is a classic album. One of the best record from the 80s. One of the all-time best records from my favorite band. So in the beginning of this video, it's definitely going to be Smiths, Morsi, Heavy. And I know Rob from Boston will really appreciate that since he has an incredible collection of Smiths and Morsi records. All right. Next, I bought this. I want to say I bought this. I can't. I'm pretty sure I bought this at a record shop in South Jersey, probably around 2005 to 2006. Not sure of the printed information on this, but this is the Queen is Dead picture disc. Not sure how limited this is. I've never taken it out of the shrink wrap. Picture discs are pretty cool, but I'm not too big into them, so you won't really see too many in this video. But figure I add this into the collection. So picture disc. Not even sure what year this was released. It doesn't even say, but yeah, picture disc of The Queen is Dead. Let me highlight some of these comments here. Hey, Scotty Aranya, thanks for stopping in. VV Sports Cards, thanks for stopping in as well. Next is a gift that was given to me probably 4 to 5 years ago by Gary Elbow Sausage. So, Gary, if you're watching, this was one of my favorite things that anyone has ever sent me. This is the 12-inch single of This Charming Man by the Smiths. So it has This Charming Man as the single, and then the two B-sides, Accept Yourself and Wonderful Woman, two extremely underrated Smith songs. But love this. I still remember when you sent this to me, Gary. Absolutely incredible. Love it. So very, very cool. Next is another record that I bought off eBay around the same time I bought The Queen is Dead. The cool thing about this is it still has the original sticker on it. And I bought this from a seller in the UK. And it was actually my first overseas purchase. So it was interesting to see that whole thing. Now, this was like, you're talking about like close to 20 years ago when I bought this. But we got the Smiths, Hateful of Hollow, and it has the original. Hold on. There you go. It has the original sales sticker on it. This is the UK edition. Played this many a time. Sounds really, really good. So the original sticker says 16 tracks, including the 1983 John Peel show sessions, plus hit singles, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, and William, It Was Really Nothing. So that is really awesome. Probably one of the best compilation records. Just great stuff. So now we're going to make a little departure from showing Smith's records. We're going to delve into Morsi solo stuff. And I know Pepino Man was asking me a couple weeks ago to show him some cool Morsi stuff that I have in my collection. So here we go. The first one here, this is my favorite Morsi solo album. I got this from a record shop in South Jersey. This is Morsi, Your Arsenal, which was released in 1992. Now this is the reissue. I'm not sure what reissue this is, but I think this is pretty much out of print. It only had a limited pressing. Says on there, limited edition classic album. I still have the original price sticker from the record shop on there. It was $23.99. There's the back. Now, some of these records that I buy, I don't open them. Some I do. If they're already open, I will play them. I obviously have a record player and everything, but some I don't like to open. I like to keep them the way that I got them from the record shop or from the show that I got them from. So some of them I don't open. And this one, I have Your Arsenal digital download, and I have it on CD, so I didn't see a reason to open this one. Hey, Ron Fig, how you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. Thank you, VV Sports Cards. Next, I found this at it might have been the punk rock flea market here in Philly, or it might have been another flea market or something. I forget. But got this, I think, for a few bucks. Couldn't believe I found this one, and it's in great condition too. This is a Morsi single, Last of the Famous International Playboys, 12-inch single. So got this. Here's the back. Last of the famous international Playboys. This is 1989, I believe. This is when he was still working with uh, Andy O'Rourke, Mike Joyce, Craig Gannon, and I believe Stephen Street produced this. So it was right during that transition phase. Next, this is probably the rarest Morsi related record I have. This was a limited pressing. Got this off the internet. Forget where. Might have been Interpunk. But this is Morsi's greatest hits. The special heavyweight double vinyl LP edition. 9 top 10 hits. So got this. And I think this was a very, very limited pressing. So I don't think there's that many of these. I'm curious if, Rob, if you have this. You probably do, seeing as how you have most of the releases. This made in Germany, and then it has a bunch of the singles and whatnot. So there's that. This next one is Morsi Years of Refusal. This is on Attack Records. This came out in 2009. Still has the sticker on there. New album from Morsi, including I'm Throwing My Arms Around Paris. Then this one is opened because I listened to this when it came out, since it had the digital download. World Peace is None of Your Business. Gatefold. Just the digital download fell out. There's the back. So this is the regular edition. It's just on black, 2 black LPs. And then I also got the Hot Topic exclusive, which is on orange. So 2 on orange. For World Peace is None of Your Business. All right, next we have Low in High School. This is the clear vinyl. So got that one. There's the back. My favorite song on here is definitely Home is a Question Mark. That song is incredible. Probably, in my opinion, one of Morsi's best songs of like the last 10 years. Just an incredible song. So got that. Then got this one off eBay, I think. This is California Suns, which was one of the more recent releases. This is on clear blue. Clear blue vinyl. Here's the back. It's a cover record. I liked it. Thought it was pretty good. Songs sounded really good live when I saw them at Forest Hills. And then finally, the last Morsi record that I have is his most recent one, I'm Not a Dog on a Chain. This was released in 2020. Bought this from his store online, so I got it directly from him. Here's the back of that. All right, now we'll mix it up. We're going to get into some other things. Got this at when Johnny Marr played. This is signed by him too. This is Johnny Marr Playland, which is his second solo record after The Messenger. Don't have The Messenger on LP, but do have Playland that has Easy Money on it. And they were selling these signed when he was touring a couple years ago. So I got to see Johnny Marr twice live when he was supporting Messenger and Playland. Both times he came to Philly. So added these to the collection. Got them signed. Looks real cool. All right, let's show some comments here. That's really cool. Hey, Alex, thanks for stopping on in. Next, one of my all-time favorite records. We have the self-titled Clash. Now, this is another record I bought off eBay, probably around a little earlier uh, than 2003. I think I bought this off of eBay in 2002. So one of the first records I bought, and this is actually the US edition. Now, fun fact, this record was not the first Clash record released in the United States. Give 'Em Enough Rope was the first Clash record released here stateside, even though that this was their first record. And the funny thing about this release is, don't know how rare it is or whatever, because I never researched it. This is actually, if you can see the sticker right here, this is actually a promotional, for promotion only. Ownership reserved by CBS. Sale is unlawful. So I believe this was given to radio stations probably back in the late 70s here in the United States. But I don't know too much about it. I'm sure there's a plethora of information out there that I could probably research and find the answer, but I haven't looked into it. But wanted to add this into the collection, and I'll probably do more research in the future, or maybe not. Maybe I'll procrastinate, and it'll be 5 years before I look into it. But probably my second or third favorite Clash record, although it's the Clash record that I listen to the most. Just love the rawness of this record. Speaking of the Clash, wouldn't be much of a record collection if you didn't have London Calling, one of the all-time great records. This actually just celebrated a birthday not too long ago. I think it was released January 14th or January 10th, somewhere around there, back in 1980. So an iconic record there. I mean, you all know London Calling. Still extremely relevant. Still kicks ass after all these years. Next is a really cool record, and I wish more Clash fans checked out Joe Strummer's solo material, especially with the Mescaleros. He has some really, really great stuff. But this is Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros, Global A Go-Go. This was not the last record he did before he passed. I think this is their second solo record with the Mescaleros. But got this off Interpunk back in the early 2000s. Limited edition. Features the single Minstrel Boy. There you can see the back. Came really, really close when I was, I think I want to say either 12 or 13. Came extremely, extremely close to seeing Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros before he passed. One of the last shows that he ever did was in Atlantic City at the Trump Arena, of all places. And there's actually a really cool documentary called Let's Rock Again, and it chronicles that tour and the last couple of shows that Joe ever played before his untimely passing. It's one of the most bittersweet documentaries I've ever watched, especially if you're a Clash fan or a fan of Joe Strummer. So incredible, incredible person, artist. Love his music. Been listening to it for half of my life. Love it. All right, so let's get some more stuff. All right, now we're going to get a little more current. And we're And we're going to start with this, the Gaslight Anthem, which is a band that I actually saw their first show here in Philadelphia. And this is where I got this from. This is on Hellbent Records. And this is actually the first pressing. Take it out for you guys. So as you can see, it's on that white, pink, reddish splatter. And bought this at the church when they opened up for the Loved Ones and the Eels. I mean the Herbs, excuse me. And that was back in 2000. It was either 2006 or 2007, and had that in my collection ever since. And the Gaslight Anthem actually got pretty big at one point. They were playing pretty big venues. They did a bunch of tours with Bruce Springsteen. Brian Fallon's still doing his thing, so always appreciate that. But this is a really cool record. I think there's only 250 of these, so definitely a record I'll hold on to probably forever. I have sold some records in the past before. Actually, I've done better selling some records out of my collection than sports cards. Sold quite a number of them a couple years ago, and got some really stupid prices for some of them. But again, some of them were tour editions or limited pressings, which is why they sold for what they sold for. All right, next is the same record, Sink or Swim, which is my favorite Gaslight record. This one's on red, which I think it's the second pressing, and this was pretty limited as well. Just love this record. Takes me back to being 18 years old, seeing those guys in pretty much the basement. So it's a lot of fun. Next is the 59 sound. This is the first press on blue. This is their second record. And this one, as you can see, went on side one dummy. So Gaslight Anthem had a very, very quick kind of rise. Like, they were pumping out a lot of different stuff. They were pumping out a lot of different material, a lot of songs in a very quick succession. Kind of almost like Against Me. If I could draw a comparison, they just had so many songs that were just bursting out, and they got a lot of really great material. So the 59 sound on blue. So many good songs on here. Old White Lincoln, Great Expectations, 59 sound. Love this record. Tim Hutt produced it. He did a lot of Flog Molly records. Speaking of Against Me, one of my all-time favorite records. Just a classic. This band was this is without a doubt the punk band of my youth, and that is Against Me. God, man, they I can't tell you how amazing this band was in their prime. It was like a movement. It was incredible. The shows were crazy. It was such a communal feeling. There was such rawness. It was amazing. I go back and I look at that time so fondly. But this is Reinventing Axl Rose. It's on No Idea Records. I mean, it's it's definitely the best punk album of its era. Pints of Guinness Make You Strong, Politics of Starving. I mean, banger after banger on this record. We Laugh at Danger, I Still Love You, Julie, Scream Until You're Coughing Up Blood, Anarcho Punks, Baby I'm an Anarchist, Walking Still Honest. I mean, song after song after song, it's just incredible. And this is on red. Now, the thing with this is This is on No Idea Records. No Idea must have pressed this thing maybe like 100 times. There's so many colors that this record's on. They've done every color and color combination you can think of. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much this record has been pressed. Now, this is actually a first pressing, believe it or not. This is on red, which is one of the first ones that they did. Still has the original sticker there from the record shop here in Philly. $13.99. Bought this. I believe I bought this at AKA Music back in the day, which, rest in peace, they're no longer there. Man, amazing record. Then we have Searching for Former Clarity, which is on Fat Wreck. Miami. So there we got that. If you're wondering where the other records are, Cavalier Eternal, I sold that probably like 5 years ago. And I also sold New Wave because I had the first pressing of that. And I was kind of blown away with how much I was able to sell New Wave for, because I'm not the biggest fan of the New Wave record. I think Against Me fans now, the majority of the fans now, probably have that as their favorite record. Reinventing for me will always be their best record. But I sold New Wave maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I couldn't believe what I got for it. I got like quadruple what I paid for it, what I originally bought it at retail. This is the last Against Me record I have. This is Transgender Dysphoria Blues. So got this one. And there's the back. So yeah, that's the Against Me run. I also have a bunch of their 7 inches, like Crime, Disco Before the Breakdown. They've been pressed on like so many different colors as well, because it's on No Idea. Am I missing anything else? No, I think I got it all. All right, next, a little indie rock. We got Modest Mouse, The Lonesome Crowd at West. Bought this when I saw them. I've seen Modest Mouse a dozen times, but got this at the show. So Lonesome Crowd West. This is not the first pressing. I believe this is a repress from probably like 4 to 5 years ago. But one of my all-time favorite Modest Mouse records. Just really, really great. Awesome, fantastic record. Next is another Modest Mouse record. Also bought this when I saw them. Touring with REM and touring with The National. This is when this record was coming out. Dashboard. No, Dashboard. We Were Dead Before the Ship Sank. Why did I say Dashboard? That's a single. But got this, and this is when Johnny Marr joined the group, and you could definitely tell his influence on this record with the jangly guitar. Changed Modest Mouse's sound. Live with Johnny Marr, they were unreal. That was definitely the best I ever saw them. So really, really cool. There's the back. We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. This is definitely worth a re-listen to. If you guys haven't listened to this record in a couple of years, it sounds fantastic. Still sounds really, really good from when it was first released. All right, probably one of the best records of the '90s, easily. Kind of a what's the right word for it? It has a cult following. Neutral Milk Hotel, In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. Not much else you can say about this record. Just people have been dissecting this record since it came out. Just incredible. Let's view some comments. It's kind of been a while. How you doing, Denny? Thanks for stopping in. 357. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. We got Paleka Cards in. Thanks for stopping in. Dominic, thanks for stopping in. Next, we got the National Boxer. This was also a record that I bought when I saw Modest Mouse and REM. The National was opening up. National have since, they pretty much blown up, I would say, in the last couple of years. They're working with Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift's working with them. This is still my favorite National record. Boxers is really, really damn good. Love this. And there's the back. So many great songs on there. Banger of a record. Next, we're going to delve into the Bouncing Souls. One of my all-time favorite punk bands. Probably my favorite Jersey punk band. Been a huge fan of them. Been listening to them since I was pretty much in grade school. But this is Manical Laughter, which is probably one of my favorite Bouncing Souls records. There's the back. Then we have the self-titled Bouncing Souls. It's a fun record. It's their first one on Epitaph. All right, now we're going to get into movie and TV soundtracks. First one here, we got Game of Thrones. You know me, Game of Thrones card autograph collector. Have to have Game of Thrones on vinyl. This is from season 1. Robin did an amazing job with that soundtrack. Next is probably one of my all-time favorite movie soundtracks. Is something I listen to pretty much on a regular basis. Definitely when I'm browsing YouTube, I'll have a tab open to listen to some of the music from this. But the music on this particular movie, incredible. Did not win the Oscar that year. Should have. Was friggin' robbed out of it. But it is Hans Zimmer, and it is Interstellar, which is one of my all-time favorite films. How the hell this did not win? It lost to Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't know how Hans Zimmer lost that year. The music in Interstellar it's so fucking awesome. It's so good. Especially No Time for Caution, Stay, Mountains. Just so good, man. So freaking good. So I had to get that on record. That was a no-brainer. All right. I've been on for 35 minutes, so probably be wrapping this up soon. I'll show a couple more, but I'm probably going to be wrapping up just to see what the reaction to this type of video will be and if people want to see a part 2. So next, we got Me Without You, local Philadelphia band. This is, I think, A to B Life. Oh, no, this is Brother Sister. Brother Sister. Bought this when I saw them many years ago. Pretty sure this is out of print. You can't get this anymore. Here's A to B Life, which bought at the record shop. They were supposed to do their final tour, actually. Their final show and their final tour was supposed to be in 2020. That all got messed up with COVID, so I'm hoping that they uh, do a final tour and do the final show. Then we have the Postal Service. This is the single "We Will Become Silhouettes." Bought this probably back in like 2003. Next, we have the Postal Service "Give Up." This is on red, so it's the first pressing. Postal Service "Give Up." I don't know what more I could say about that record. Probably listened to this record probably over 1,000 times. Postal Service "Give Up." All right. Next, we got Piebald. Love Piebald. This is "We Are the Only Friends We Have." Just a fun band. Remember seeing these guys a few times. Super fun. They always kind of get lost in the shuffle, but a great band. There's the back. This is long out of print. Probably one of my more expensive records if I looked it up. But really cool. Piebald. Here's another old school New Jersey pop punk band, Weston. A real life story of teenage rebellion. They did a reunion show, I want to say in 2006 or 2007, with the Bouncing Souls. So they were opening up for the Bouncing Souls. I believe it was at the House of Blues, Atlantic City. So this is where I bought this record because they pulled out a bunch of their old records in storage. So originally this was released, I want to say in the 1994. So then they did a reunion in 06, 07. I think there's some videos of it on YouTube. Alrighty. Next. This is really cool. We got Jimmy Eat World Clarity. This was a tour edition that was specifically released on the Clarity Tour in the mid 2000s to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Clarity. Probably one of my favorite Jimmy Eat World records. There's the back. I remember at the time where they were selling these, it was one per person, and they were selling on eBay, I think, for like $200 to $300. No idea what they are now. Haven't bothered to check because not interested in moving this one out of the collection. But they played Clarity front to back on the tour, and it was really cool. And then they were selling these in very limited copies. So bought this before the show. Next, we got Bright Eyes, Lifted, or the story is in the soil. This was released in 2002 on Saddle Creek. Had this for years. Could never find Fevers and Mirrors, which was always the Bright Eyes record that I liked a lot more than this one. Just could never find it. Next, I sent this record to Rob from Boston. This is Manchester Orchestra. This is their first record. I'm Like a Virgin Losing My Child. So got this one. I think I bought like a few of them when they were opening up for Kevin Devine or when they were touring with Kevin Devine. So there's that. Then we have Mean Everything to Nothing, Manchester Orchestra. It's their second record, their follow up. All right. All right, we don't have too much more in here. I have to get another container, but I'm not going to get the other container. I'll just finish off what's in this crate. Next, we got Connor Obras and the Mystic Valley Band. This is his first self-titled record. I forget what this is called. I don't even think this record has a name. It's just a self-titled. Awesome, real good debut with the Mystic Valley Band. Hard to believe this is like going on 15, 20 years maybe. This was released in 2008, I want to say. Then we have one of my all-time favorite records, Either Or, Elliott Smith. Incredible record. We got some ska here. Catch 22, Keys Be Nights. I believe this is on Red, which I think is the first pressing. Then we have The Loved Ones. This is Build and Burn, which is a tour edition. This was Philadelphia only because it was the record released of Build and Burn at the church. So as you can see right there, it says Philadelphia. There's the back. Speed this up a little more. We have Painted Black, CVA, hardcore punk band, Philadelphia band with Dan Yeaman. So this is their first record. CVA sold them a multitude of times, but I believe one of the standout ones I saw them at was the Bamboozle at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford. That was 2005, I believe. Then we have New Lexicon. Love this record. This is their third record. Painted Black. Speaking of New Jersey and East Rutherford, Saves the Day, Stay What You Are. Don't have Through Being Cool, but do have this one. Then we have some Alkaline Trio. I have more Alkaline Trio, but it's in the other container. This is Maybe I'll Catch Fire. Got this when I saw them. I've seen Alkaline Trio a shit ton of times. Next, Big D and the Kids Table, Strictly Rude. You can see somebody put a sticker on this. Limited Gray and Marble Swirl. It's an awesome album cover. Big D, very fun band. They're from Boston. Remember, I saw them, I want to say on the 2005 Warped Tour, and all the guys were like insanely hungover. Felt bad for them since it was like 100 degrees that day. August day in Camden, New Jersey. But Big D and the Kids Table. And that will do it. I think I showed the... Nope, we got two more I didn't show. We got the Get Up Kids, Something to Write Home About. And then we have the Get Up Kids, On a Wire. So there we go. 44 minutes of your viewing pleasure. So hope you guys enjoyed that. To whoever's watching, really appreciate you guys stopping in. That is very cool. Hey, Collectorholic, thanks for stopping on in. I have very, very few metal records. The harder stuff that I do have is mostly hardcore punk, but not really too much. Not really too much metal. most of my records are punk, indie rock, um, and hardcore punk. But that's pretty much it. So I do appreciate you guys watching. I know Gary and Rob. I don't think either one of them stopped in, but I'm sure they'll watch this on the archive version since they have been asking for quite a while to see my record collection. It took 5+ years, but the video is finally out there. So thanks, guys. I appreciate those who showed interest. Be curious to see if anyone watches this on the replay. Collectorholic, Paleka Cards. Thanks, guys, for stopping in. Do truly appreciate it. So that's all I got. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2. Do have a couple more records that I have not showed off, and some 7 inches and 10 inches that I didn't show off either. But that's all I got for you. Have a great one. Enjoy. And keep listening to music and support local venues when they come back, hopefully in 2021. Peace.